Holy, here we go again, Batman.
Just so you know, as we were trying to say when we thought we were streaming, literally every piece of technology we had failed right before we did this. I apologize. Case in point, right here, right now. We thought we were streaming for the past 10 minutes. We were not. I apologize. My bad.
Oh, man.
Anyway, which I think is the most perfect introduction to the NerdSync Podcast. 100th episode. I'm Scott.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Bryce.
Once again. And today we're going to break down all of the Comic-Con news that happened. Oh boy, I really hope that we are actually live now.
I think we are. It appears that we are.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, everybody.
According to the chat.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So yes, if you haven't, I'm just gonna repeat a couple things that I said beforehand when we weren't actually streaming. If you haven't been listening to the podcast for 100 episodes, some of you might not even know that we even have a podcast. But for those of you who have, and you always wonder what Bryce and Chris looked like, this is their faces. Although, I mean, this is not a big face reveal or anything. You guys stream on Twitch as well,
right.
so.
Because you watch our stream, right?
I watch, I do, totally, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for all of you who are joining us right now. We're going to break down all of the crazy Comic-Con news. In the process, we're definitely going to forget a whole bunch of stuff. So make sure you write in the chat all the things that you want us to talk about, just so we make sure we don't miss anything. But what we were talking about was Chris literally just watched the Wonder Woman trailer not too many minutes ago, and so that's kind of fresh on our minds. And I loved it so much. So, Chris, even though you just told us all of your opinions about it, can you tell us again for people to actually hear?
It was really good, actually. I guess we approach trailers with a lot of skepticism now because we're always afraid it's going to be really cheesy and bad. But the Wonder Woman trailer looks pretty great. It looks like they're taking it seriously, which is really good. The soundtrack was on point. The dialogue was, pretty great. Everybody looks like they're at the top of their game as far as the acting goes. All the costumes look very authentic. It looks really pretty, to be honest.
Definitely. Yeah. Bryce?
I think it actually looks really good too. Like, I was kind of surprised by it. There again, I'm still like I said before we started streaming, I feel like I'm always the fence sitter on the podcast. And I'm just like, I mean, it looks good, but this is also one of our first like real looks at what the movie is going to be like.
Sure.
And like I said, I think it looks really good. Hopefully the rest of the movie is also just as good. Me being nitpicky, there was one scene that I took issue with, which of course was the scene where Wonder Woman was being shot at, and the only place that the bullets were actually hitting were directly on her shield when the rest of her was exposed, and they could have literally been shooting anywhere else.
No, man, that's how it works.
Stuff like that still gets me. I'm like,
but yet if we see that in a Captain America movie, you're like, he's fine. That's how it always works.
Yeah.
They aim for the shield,
right?
They always do that. Even in video games, they always aim where you're not, Right. I always just imagine that if you're shooting a real gun, it must be hard to aim, because we're not real, super soldiers. So that's my headcanon.
And I mean, that shield is the biggest object, like, within your visual range. So it would make sense that you would gravitate your shots toward that. So
sure.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
It's like that scene from Winter Soldier when there's that one guy and he has like the minigun or whatever, and he's just like shooting constantly, just nothing but directly at Cap's shield, just hoping like, well, one of these has to work, right? One of these bullets that I'm firing has to get lucky,
the thing to, like, tip it down and take his legs out or something.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe they don't all know it's made of that special metal. Like they just know he has a shield. They might not know exactly what he can do with it or what it can do. So naturally, they're just like, aim for the shield thing,
Right. Yeah. I feel like we can draw a lot of comparisons to Captain America here because they're also doing like the first Avenger type thing where they are putting it back in content, like they're setting it back in time. This is World War I.
Yes.
Captain America was World War II. And I don't know. It seems like, honestly, that's one of the things that I'm really excited about because I love period pieces. That's one of the reasons I love the first Captain America movie, even though I know a lot of people are like, wow, that's such a terrible, terrible movie. I think it's great. And I'm looking forward to seeing that kind of similar thing happen here with Wonder Woman and the world of, you know, that time period, and just seeing, you know, everyone. I don't know. It's just fun to kind of see a look into the past, and especially a look into the past when we're also involving superheroes as well. Is really interesting. I know a lot of people are asking what were my thoughts about Etta Candy showing up at the very end of the trailer, because one of the first comic misconceptions I did, certainly within the first 20 episodes I did, is probably earlier than that, was I talked about Etta Candy. And you know, who's this character from, I don't know, she's been around since the golden age of comic books, but really she's just, I don't know, I feel like they didn't really know what to do with her, but I'm so glad that she's actually introduced into the live action movie, because that's something I never thought I would see, ever. In the history of comic book movies, right? I was like, they never introduced Etta Candy. Of course not. Why would they? They don't have any reason to, but they did, and I'm happy. And she looks like she's going to be the fun comic relief character, which that's basically who she was in the comic anyway, so I'm on board.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of is Samuel Tully from Game of Thrones. That was the first thing that crossed my mind. I'm like, oh, we're going to have the really serious person, and then we're going to have the jolly comic relief person directly next to them. That's going to be fun to watch, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the things, too, with being a part of NerdSync, I probably would have, like, never known who Etta Candy was, except being on this team, I heard about Etta Candy through Scott's videos. And so when she popped up in the commercial, I feel like I'm now in the like few people that actually know who Etta Candy is. Yeah. And I was like, I know her. That's awesome.
Like whenever they released like the first kind of set behind the scenes photos of like Etta Candy or whatever, I went and immediately took those images and put it into the new thumbnail of the old video, just to be like, I want to be the only person on the internet right now that has an Etta Candy video. And I think you could actually just search for Etta Candy on YouTube, and I think that video might be the very first one. So we did it, guys. We talked about Etta Candy before it was cool. I just thought she was a fun character, and yeah, super excited about that for sure. But no, I mean, like the action, the Wonder Woman trailer is really interesting to me because it's like it's almost a perfect trailer in the sense that it doesn't really give you anything away of like what the story's gonna be. It's just, here are some great action shots of Wonder Woman being Wonder Woman. We get a little bit of like the setup of Steve Trevor and everything. Bryce, you have a counterpoint to this? What's up?
I don't have a counterpoint. I actually have a very fantastic transition if we're done talking about this, but you finish your thought.
No, okay. I was just going to say, I thought it was a really solid trailer, and I'm super duper excited to see Wonder Woman. But what was your smooth transition?
Smooth transition is, you know what other trailer did a really good job of not giving a lot of story away, but showing off some awesome scenes of the main character and what's going to be happening?
Lego Batman.
Not where I was going with that.
Fair enough.
Lego.
I was going to say Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
That trailer, the trailer they showed off at Comic-Con has me so excited for this movie. Like, all the other movies that are coming out, I've kind of fluctuated back and forth. Like, I don't know how I feel about them. I feel with Doctor Strange, especially with this newest trailer, I'm just like, yes, I am going to see this movie. Like, this is, I have got to see this movie. So Doctor Strange, like, if you guys have not seen the trailer, definitely go check it out. Of course, maybe after this podcast.
I'm now wondering, Chris, have you seen that Doctor Strange trailer?
I watched a piece of it at work because I just got off of a really, really fast and brief vacation to Florida, so my schedule's been kind of hectic. I haven't had time to settle down yet, but I did watch a piece of it, and the first thing I noticed was they showed more magic stuff. I was like, thank you, because that first trailer was oddly bereft of magic.
Right.
I was like, in a Doctor Strange movie, we need to see some of that.
Yeah, I almost felt like the first trailer they just didn't have, like, because all the magic stuff looks super intensive, like, for all the people to try and create, and I almost feel like the first trailer, like, we don't really have anything. It's gonna take us another few months to really perfect this. Let's just throw something out there. But this trailer really went all in and embraced the magic elements of it, and everyone's drawing, they're drawing comparisons to Inception, which has been done since like the first Doctor Strange trailer. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me. It looks like a pretty movie. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun and just crazy. Yeah.
And that's it looks like it's going to be really like very psychological and how it approaches this stuff, because like that they're like bending reality. It's not just like summoning fire or summoning lightning or something like that. They're like bending reality and changing time, and to me I'm like, this looks awesome and I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with this.
Definitely.
It has a great energy to it.
Yeah, even like when he's summoning stuff, like when he's doing the magic, they have like these arcane circles and like symbols and stuff around his hands. It's not just like fire, lightning, magic, It's they're going deep with this, and that's how you do magic right. That's like, that looks awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not like I was worried that it was just gonna kind of take a visual guide from like the Harry Potter movies. Not that those are bad. I just didn't want it to look the same. And I do like that they're making the magic almost look. Some of the magic in this movie doesn't look as clean as like you would expect magic to. Like there's a lot of the sparks flying around, and it's like, dude, it almost looks like they're. I don't know. It looks like they're in a sense like actually messing with reality to the point of like it's not like a very visually easy and clean look. It's like we're actually kind of tearing reality a little bit every time we do a little bit of magic, and it looks so cool and so good, and I'm very happy about it. Some people were asking in the chat right now. We are watching the live chat, by the way. You guys are the best.
Yes, we are.
All right.
So we were. Somebody was asking about the Wi-Fi scene. So I don't know, Chris, if you saw that. It's like a little extra thing at the end of the trailer. I thought it was, at first I was like, that's pretty ridiculous. But then I was like, oh wait, it's also a Marvel movie. So it's fine. It's fine that it can be ridiculous. Yeah. But do you know what we're talking about, Chris?
No, but yeah, I caught the gist of it from what I watched. I did not see that one particular part. So.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if you want us to spoil it for you or anything.
No, no, go ahead. I totally dropped the ball on this one, so as we are classically unprepared for things. So
perfect. Basically, what happens is Mordo hands Doctor Strange like a piece of paper and with like a word on it. I can't remember what the word is right now, but
it
was
was
like
kind of long, odd looking.
It was like
script.
a long, archaic type of a thing, and he's like, "What is this? My mantra?" And then Mordo's like, "It's the Wi-Fi password. We're not savages."
It's like what?
But it's like handed to him on like a little piece of parchment, like written in this very archaic font. So it's like, really, Wi-Fi password? All right, fine. What? I can accept that. Whatever. I thought it was real strange and real dumb at first, but then I was like, they gotta have some humor in this movie for sure. Yeah, but I agree with you, Bryce. Like based off of this trailer, I have no idea what this movie is about. Like, I know it's about Doctor Strange. It's going to show his origin, but in terms of like what the villain wants, what his goal is, what Mads Mikkelsen wants to do, I have nothing, no clue. And I mean, I think that's good because I'm still excited to see it, even though I have no idea what the movie is actually gonna hold in store.
Right. Okay, I want to take a moment. Somebody is repeatedly asking me what my guinea pig's name is in the chat. Her name is Baby, although I don't normally call her by her full name. I just call her Piggy. But her name is, it's like hey dog, you're talking to your dog, or something. But her name is Baby, for the record.
And also, of course, as always, we're not going to get to everybody's questions. There's so many of you are just constantly like.
The chat is like going like this.
It's going a million miles an hour. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But we appreciate you guys, everyone who's here with us right now, celebrating this occasion. You guys are the best. Cool. So, should we move on to something else, or do we have more things to say about Doctor Strange?
I think
let's move on. There's so much news. Yeah,
I was gonna say it's not really like I have any more to say about the movie because we like we've addressed, we didn't really get any like story details. It was all really just wow, this looks really cool. Like that's
for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's move on. Another trailer that I really feel like we should talk about is probably the Justice League trailer. That seems like something that made the internet explode a little bit. What did you guys think about this trailer? Because my first impression was it doesn't feel like a DC movie, and that's a good thing in my opinion. Like, it feels like a completely new. Like, if it wasn't for the same actors reprising their roles, I would think that this is a brand new, almost continuity of DC movies. It just felt so out of place compared to what we've had so far. But in my opinion, in a good way. Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was. Oh, you go first.
Oh,
no, you
so
go first.
polite.
You're already talking. You do your thing.
I thought it was pretty great. Of course, that was the first thing I noticed too. Immediately after the trailer debuted, people are like, "Oh, it looks different. You know, it looks fun and all this." And I hate that word, but it does look a lot more lighthearted. But it's got a great feel to it. The tone, at least of the trailer. I will say it looks very, very gray in the trailer. There's like one overall color tone, and that bothers me because that's the same problem I have with the Captain America movies. Is it's always in this drab gray setting, and it's like, this is a comic book world. I mean, can they go somewhere else that's not gray? But otherwise, it looks really great. It looks like all the characters are meshing very well, especially the Flash. He's obviously going to be a highlight of the movie.
Definitely. Like, he had like a couple. What? Do you disagree?
No, you keep just
Oh,
saying this.
I was all right.
Fair
Fair enough. No, I think that he only had a small part of the trailer, and already we get a sense of who exactly this version of Barry Allen is. And I think he's gonna be, add some lightness to the overall dreary world that we've been seeing so far in these DC movies. I am incredibly excited for this movie. I wasn't at first. I was like, I don't really want to watch anymore. This Justice, like, I don't care about this world, this universe, this it just doesn't appeal to me. But this trailer, and of course the Wonder Woman trailer on top of it as well, was like, all right, it's kind of restored my faith a little bit. I still have to see. I still want to watch more trailers. I still want to know. I obviously am going to reserve my opinion for when I actually see the movie. But the trailer itself, I thought was really good. I do want to hear Bryce's opinions on this, though, before I talk about how much before I talk about Aquaman stuff. Bryce.
Yes, we will definitely get to the Aquaman stuff because I have opinions on it as well.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it, and people are gonna be mad. Whatever. I don't like this Flash. I really don't. Don't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody
Unsubscribe.
in the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, and part of it is because I have seen the CW's Flash, and I really like how they portray Barry Allen in that show. I think he's a great Flash in that show, and I love it. And then they show off this Flash, and I'm like, okay, I get it. He's like a nerd. He knows a lot of sciencey stuff, but he's also a really smart guy. That doesn't necessarily mean he needs to be the most awkward person to ever interact with in the history of ever. Like, that's like what they were going for, is they picked, when Bruce Wayne's in his room, he could have just said something like, that doesn't explain why there's a total stranger sitting in the dark in my house. Instead, he's like, oh, that doesn't explain why there's a total stranger sitting in the dark in my second favorite chair. And it's like, was that relevant? Did that need to be said? Do we really need to make
it's
his dialogue
comedy? Does anything need to be said? Yeah. I don't know.
It's so stilted though. Like, it doesn't feel, I don't know. It doesn't feel natural to me. It almost like it. I find it a little annoying. Like that, just because he's like one of the smartest guys on the team, we're gonna make him the weirdest, socially awkward person to interact with in the world. I don't know. I didn't like him. I don't like him. That's
I think there are different interpretations of Flash throughout the comic books. My favorite personal one has to go back to, I believe it was the Flash Rebirth storyline, where they do kind of frame him as not really awkward in the Ezra Miller sense, but he's like more shy and quiet and reserved, and like he's this brilliant guy, but he like wears a bow tie not because he thinks it looks cool, but because, like, I don't know, it's just it looks really nerdy and dorky on him, and I don't know, it's like that version of the Flash resonates with me. But that's obviously not a main version of the Flash. He is supposed to be this wisecracking kind of guy. He is supposed to be this guy who makes jokes and at maybe not the most appropriate times. you know.
Now, Ultra Nerd in the chat did just point something out that I did want to comment on.
Mhm.
Blue Lightning.
Yeah.
Was not yellow. Was not red. I mean,
Red or yellow,
yeah.
orange, whatever, what have you.
It was blue.
Mhm.
Any thought on that, Scott or Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so much dark blue stuff in this world anyway. I feel like it was just only natural that they were like, yeah, of course it's Blue Lightning. Why wouldn't it be Blue Lightning?
I didn't notice it actually. I might have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, there again, after watching
or maybe
the CW Flash,
guys,
I'm like super biased by obviously Zoom.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ezra Miller is
Flash
Zoom.
That was it. Is it really is he really Zoom? That may be. What if that's a thing that they were trying?
This could just keep going into this theory that the Snyder universe is Earth 3. So you could be like, oh, it's not really Flash. It's, what was his name? A quick guy? I don't know. Who cares?
Quick
guy.
You know what really sold me on this Flash though was that one scene in the trailer where Bruce turns around and throws the batarang at him. Mm-hmm. And maybe it was just my interpretation of it, but it looked like Barry only barely missed that. Like he caught it in just in time enough to move out the way, and I was like, "Whoa!" He threw that really, really fast. But it was Ezra Miller's acting that kind of sold it, the expression on his face and everything, and the way he handled it. I was like, "I'm gonna like this guy a lot."
Yeah, I will say, even if I don't like him because I don't like how they're having him portray Flash, he does seem like a very good actor. He's following the direction he was given very well. And like that, his facial expressions portrayed in that moment, he's like, for real right now? Like, did he just throw a batarang at me?
Mm-hmm.
He was
like,
testing
you
him.
can see it on his face. So, I may not like this portrayal of Barry Allen, but at least the actor they got doing it's going to be...
so far, right? Like, we've only seen this one interaction, really. Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I might end up liking him. Because there again, I was... kind of in the same boat as Scott. I wasn't really excited about the Justice League movie. I was like, it'll probably be a thing that happens. But now that I've seen this trailer, I'm like, I'm actually excited to see this. This should be good.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
I will say, as we're on the topic of Flash, they also showed his full costume, which is very like Injustice-y armor. Like,
yeah, I noticed.
Which
armor.
Yeah, in Injustice, in armor.
In armor.
As we decided. I think it looks interesting. I'm glad that they're not basically trying to just copy what the TV show's doing. Of course, they have a higher budget. They can, make something more intricate and more interesting. And I don't know. I've heard rumors. I don't know how much of this is true. I've heard rumors that that's one of Flash's costumes. Like that's just something that he himself kind of cobbled together. But they could be getting basically Batman could be the Iron Man of this team and upgrade everyone to make them look cooler. Maybe not even in this movie, maybe in part 2, maybe somewhere else down the line, but we could be seeing a different Flash costume. I don't know. I don't particularly mind it, but I don't know. It's just not really what I was envisioning for Flash. What do you guys think about the costume?
Meh.
I thought it looked better than the TV show costume, even though, I mean, the TV show costume, they have a certain budget, but on the movie, they have a bigger budget, obviously. They can pretty much do what they want. I thought it looked very streamlined and less costume-y than the TV show one, because I always get the sense when I watch the shows that it's like, oh, they're clearly wearing a costume, but in the movies they always look way more natural, like, oh, that's clearly his superhero outfit. I really liked how thin it looked as compared to the TV show. It looks kind of bulky a little bit, but it does look armored. It's hard to explain it. I just thought it looked perfect in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm super biased to the TV show.
Yeah,
yeah.
I am so biased to the TV show. Not based, as some of you people are writing. You guys got to learn how to spell. Come on now. I have not
Bryce is calling you out.
But yeah, I will say I'm definitely biased to the TV show Flash. So that's.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Flash on the CW show to me is like my epitome of who Barry Allen is and who the Flash is. I don't know. That's just me, I guess.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm not completely caught up, so maybe my opinion is change or will change once I
Sure.
catch up completely.
Yeah.
I'm a little behind.
And of course, yeah, like I said, I'm always in the camp where, you know, I'm not gonna make too many judgments based off of a trailer. I think the only thing you can 100% make a judgment on when watching a trailer is the trailer itself, right? You can say like, you know, I don't think it's fair to say this movie looks terrible. I think it's fair you can say this movie looks terrible, but you can't say this movie is garbage based off of the trailer. You can say the trailer's garbage, sure.
Exactly.
Right,
But until you actually watch the movie, then I don't think you can make an opinion on it. So that's what I'm trying to do is like not make too many, rash jumps to conclusions about what I think these movies are going to be like. But I'm more excited than I was. It looks like they're going to do like a, putting the gang together type sequence, a montage of Batman going around finding all sorts of, all the people around, which brings us to like, it's basically starts with Aquaman. Batman is going to say like, hey, Aquaman, you want to join us on our team? And we get kind of like intercut throughout the trailer, just him and Arthur having conversation. And, I kind of said at the beginning, like when they casted, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I was like, I don't know if I like that particular choice in actor. But after seeing this trailer, I was like, you know what? All right, I can see this guy as Aquaman. He seems like he's gonna be a lot of fun to kind of do it. Yeah.
Same reaction, when especially the scene where he walks out of the bar with the bourbon in his hand, just smashes it, or whiskey, whatever it was, smashes it on the ground, and then that wave crashes up over him. I'm like, that's Aquaman.
That's Aquaman.
That's it right there. Undeniable. That is Aquaman.
He's no longer the weird, useless Green Lantern from back in the day. He's actually going to do stuff now.
Yeah.
And I love Jason Momoa's personality coming through the character. It reminded me of Khal Drogo a little bit from Game of Thrones, which is a good thing, I feel like, for Aquaman in particular, because we want to get away from that whole he talks to fish perspective and get more towards what Aquaman can realistically do, I guess.
I think it's so funny because they didn't play these scenes in order, but I'm almost positive that the moment when Aquaman like lifts Bruce Wayne up and like shoves him against a wall is immediately after he's like, I hear you talk to fish. And I just want him to be like, nope. And then just... because I want the movie. Yeah, I want the movie to hammer in the point like, no, he does not talk to fish, everybody. Although this does help me set up a great video that I've been planning on doing for years, which is, really dissecting, does Aquaman really talk to fish? What, and kind of going throughout the history. And I feel like now this trailer has kind of helped set up that video for me to finally do it. And I'm so... I don't know. I'm from what we've seen of Aquaman, I'm pretty happy with it for sure, and I'm really excited about seeing it. I mean, there is another character that also showed up in the trailer that is low poly Cyborg.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, oh, he looks cool. Wait, what's with the low poly?
For me, Cyborg is like they kind of, especially the very first iteration of him, is like he was cobbled together just to save, a Victor's life. It wasn't anything where it shouldn't look super high polished. It was, it's just we need to save him. Let's throw anything that we have at him just to keep him alive. And so I felt like even though it did have a low poly look to it, it was still like really sleek and shiny, and it was a bit almost too much for me. Where I was like, it doesn't look like it's scrapped together as much as I would like it to be. I want it to almost look I almost want it to look like a machine monster, just like we don't have anything, like they didn't have technology to just make a cyborg. It was just something where they were like, well, we gotta just, again, just throw whatever we have and hope it works. And I don't know, it looked a little too polished for me, for at least the first iteration of Cyborg. If that design was saved for like a couple movies later, when like he was established as a character and maybe had time to like upgrade himself, and I was like, all right, yeah, that looked cool, but I don't know.
Yeah, and going with the idea of TV shows ruining things for me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because like we've said, all we have are these trailers that they've given us so far. We don't have the actual the movie yet. And Cyborg for me, at least the Cyborg I've been exposed to, is like Teen Titans Cyborg that I grew up with, who was always hilarious and like, you know, making dumb jokes and just doing weird things and being himself. And it seems like they're setting up this Cyborg to be very dark and depressed and I don't know.
Just at least very well.
Me?
I mean, I feel like they're trying to like embrace more of his robotic side than his human side, is what it kind of appears to be, where he's a little bit more stoic and not super emotional. Yeah.
Also, and also this does take place like right after he's had this procedure done to him, I assume.
Right.
So he's probably still getting used to it. He hasn't really kind of fully taken on the idea of, okay, I am part man and I am part machine, but that's all right because I'm still me. I feel like he's still got that internal struggle going on where he's really fighting, you know, am I me? Who am I even at this point? So, which shameless plugs we have talked about before.
That's right. Oh yeah, in an old episode of the NerdSync Podcast, all about Cyborg and the
Ship of
Theseus. Yeah. Good stuff. Some people in the comments are saying the reason why Cyborg looks shiny is because they're using the mother box to polish him up, which is going to be what appears to be a MacGuffin in the film a little bit. It's going to be, you know, the thing that everybody's after, the all-powerful whatever. I mean, I guess so. I mean, that could explain it. Does that mean that I still like the design?
Because you can explain it away. Does that mean it's okay?
Yeah.
Maybe the effects aren't done for the Comic-Con trailer. That was another thing.
That's another thing too. I mean, and that could absolutely be a possibility. I mean, there are scenes in the Iron Man 3 trailer, for example, when that came out all those years ago, where I was like, wow, this looks unfinished. And so I feel like that could definitely be the case here. He does look a little too CGI-y currently, but I don't know. They could probably.
Well, as we've seen in the past, bad CGI can ruin a movie. Take Ang Lee's Hulk, for example, who was way too green. And, you know, things like that. His pants look like they were just painted on him. You know, bad CGI can ruin a movie. So I hope they finish the CGI.
Do you guys not paint on your pants every morning? Is that not?
How would you know it? I do it so well, you can't tell.
Yeah, exactly. He's just really good at it.
Photorealistic, guys. Boy, it takes me way longer. I feel like I should just put on pants, but no. Oh boy.
It's actually a spray-on pants.
That's right.
New design, you know.
This is a complete side tangent, but there was a TV show way back in the day on Discovery Channel, and I can't even remember what it was called. But they would just every episode they would just invent kind of a new technology, and one of them they were trying to do was to create a bed that was like it was a bed, it was a shower, it was like basically it was all the things that you needed in the morning. All wrapped up into one. It was kind of a pod that like shakes you to get awake, and then it like lifts you up, and then like the shower head starts to like kind of spray down so you can shower and everything. It was crazy. And one of the things they were experimenting with was, well, how do we get the clothes off if we're gonna go from sleeping to showering? And someone was like, I got it. We'll make water-soluble pajamas so that your pajamas just melt off. Wow. And I was like, that sounds horrible. I do not want to wake up to that.
There could so many things to go wrong with that.
Yeah, there's so many things to go wrong there.
Yeah, no.
Heck, even just like brushing your teeth at night or something, you spill a little water on yourself, and now you get a giant hole.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it, no.
Wow. And it just gets goopy and gross, and no thanks. Complete side tangent. That's if anyone remembers the name of that show.
Technology has gone too far.
Yeah. Let's reel it back in, guys. I mean, what water soluble pajamas? What's next? Cyborg people? Get out of here. No, I think. I mean, just to get it back on track, I think the Justice League trailer looks pretty interesting. And I'm just super excited to see Aquaman. And just what. I just want him to have his own movie already. I don't want to have to wait for Justice League. I just want to have it now, please.
I think it'll happen after this movie because if the trailer is any indication, then I think Aquaman is going to suddenly get a rise in popularity. So, you know.
Prototype this. Thank you so much, Zeno Tesla. What a great name. Yes, it was called Prototype This. Thank you so much. That was the name of the show. What a great show.
I thought you were talking about like the technology that made Cyborg or something, and you finally realized what it's going to be in the movie.
No.
But this show's Prototype This.
Yes, that's what it is. It's real old. I think it only lasted one season, but it's pretty good if you can find it and go watch it. They literally try to reinvent the wheel. Anyway, so other stuff that I feel like we should talk about. There's so many other trailers.
I have one more thing to talk about.
Oh, yes. Go for it.
All right, listen, DC.
Okay.
I know you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to have a talk.
Mm-hmm.
We need a good Green Lantern.
Bryce just won over all of the fans in the comments right now.
Because there is no way that my dream of having this entire arc lead up to Blackest Night is going to happen unless we get a good Green Lantern. And dang it, DC, you owe this to us.
You owe us.
Yeah, and no fart clouds this time. You design a real monster, please. I don't see why they have to do that. Such a scapegoat kind of thing.
And there are actually multiple Green Lanterns in that run. So start wherever you want. But
there are so many.
Maybe we don't have to get to Blackest Night. Maybe that's not where this ends up. But for goodness sake, let's do something here.
Right.
Green Lantern.
And look, even in just the current Green Lantern comics right now, we got Simon Baz, we got Jessica Cruz. There are all sorts of new characters that we could introduce, make a whole Green Lantern, almost like a core of Green Lanterns. That would be interesting, right? If they had one of those.
Can you do that?
I don't know.
It's almost like there's more than one Lantern.
I don't know. Yeah. It seems complicated. I don't know. They probably want to follow the source material, so they might not do that. Who cares? But no, seriously, I totally agree with you, Bryce. Green Lantern, everyone was like, somebody on Twitter tweeted out, and I think I may have retweeted this, or at least I meant to. Someone took the poster that they released for the Justice League movie with all of the characters and just superimposed Green Lantern on all of them. Just like, nice. This is what I want, is just Green Lantern stuff. Which brings up kind of an interesting point that I guess we haven't discussed, which is they released the poster for the Justice League movie, and it features Superman, and in the trailer, no Superman to be seen.
There was not a single bit of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And he does not have a mullet in the poster either.
Which is upsetting.
That's kind of disappointing.
I know.
Very disappointing.
Yeah. But no, I think it's interesting. I've even seen it around, like, even on some of the trailers on like YouTube, in their description, they'll say things like a movie starring Henry Cavill. It's like, I don't believe you. He's not in the trailer. I guess he's in this movie. I don't know.
Why is that the draw point?
Yeah, like a Henry Cavill movie. I don't know. He's
okay.
He's fine. I just don't think we've had a ton of him as Superman yet. He needs more screen time as Superman. But yeah, I think it's. Do you think they're gonna bring Superman back in this movie? Because my original prediction was that they were gonna bring him back at the end of this movie. Like maybe they go. I heard. Are they not doing a part 2 anymore of Justice League? Is it just one Justice League?
I was
movie?
getting ready to say that.
Yeah.
I don't recall hearing they're not going to do that, but then again, it is just called Justice League, so
yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, it might be something. They might bring him back in this movie. I feel like they would. If they're not doing a part 2, then they probably would. But back when they were doing a part 1 and part 2, I presume that they're not. I don't know. But I originally thought that they were just not going to do Superman in the first part until they had already gone up against the big bad and lost, and they were like, well, we need Superman, so let's bring Superman back. And then he was going to basically kind of end that movie and then start the next one as well. But it looks like if they are just going to do one Justice League movie, it would be a shame not to have Superman in it.
And
out of all characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wander786 actually just posted in the comments what I was exactly what I was thinking, which is they're probably going to pull a Luke Skywalker. Where it's like they tease the movie as this movie's gonna have Superman, it's gonna have Henry Cavill, and it's gonna be amazing. And then last scene,
he'll just turn around and no lines.
He just hand out of the ground, just punching from his grave.
Yep.
Or
just like in Kill Bill.
Yep.
Somebody's standing at his grave and he just shoots up out of the grave into the air. That's the it. That's
the
that's
end.
The it.
That's the it. Yep, that is it. No, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a part of me that's worried that they're just gonna not have Superman in it because they're worried that Superman can easily take out the villain like really quickly. And so they're just like, well, we gotta like kind of put let's move him out of the way. It almost feels like the DC movies are trying not to show that much Superman because they realize, boy, Superman could just like end the battle immediately. We gotta like not have him around and just make this actually interesting to watch. But I don't know. We'll see as more trailers and more information comes out. I'm sure he'll be in this movie in some capacity. I don't know. Maybe not a major player. Capacity. Who knows?
I mean, he has to be. They've advertised it as such.
It's
right?
a Henry Cavill movie, guys. Yes, of course he's in there. Yes, a lot of people are asking about the Lego Batman trailer. If we want to reference that, I actually have not seen that one yet.
Am I the only one that's seen it?
You saw a piece of it, Chris. Bryce, explain to me shot for shot this Lego Batman trailer. Go.
I saw it once. I don't know that I could do that. I know that, first of all, when I saw all the actors that are going to be in it, as far as like the voices of the different characters, has such a good cast. I can't name any of them, but I remember when I looked at that list, I was like, oh my gosh, this movie has so many big people in it that are all hilarious. So the movie is just going to be absolutely hilarious. But one thing we did get in this trailer, spoilers for the trailer if you want to go watch it and see it for yourself, we are getting Robin.
Ooh, neat.
And the way that it worked in the trailer, I'll go ahead and give you this little shot for shot thing here for you guys. That way you can respond to it. So we have Batman in his Batcave doing bat stuff. And right. Alfred comes in and puts a parental lock on his computer and says, Batman, it's time for you to start taking responsibility. Like, take responsibility for yourself or your company or your child. And he goes, wait, what? Like, he's like, what are you talking about, Alfred? And he goes, that orphan that you adopted. And it like cuts to a video of Robin like sliding across the table out in the dining room. And he's like, wait, that was a joke, right? I didn't want to actually adopt him, right? And then it cuts to a montage of costuming and like all of the stuff that Batman's doing with Robin, and it looks hilarious.
Oh, that's so funny. Yes.
A couple people in the comments are asking which Robin is it. I'm not that good with all the different Robins. Don't know which one it is.
Well, if it's an orphan, that helps limit it down a little bit to probably 2 or so that we can be fairly sure about. Either Dick Grayson or Jason Todd. I would assume Dick Grayson.
I was gonna say probably Dick Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people are
and Michael Cera is Robin.
Michael Cera is
Robin. Oh, that's so perfect. Oh my god.
Perfect.
You got George Michael and Job together again.
Yay.
Beautiful.
Sadness because that show is not coming back. Hopefully Netflix has another season. We have to say something. Everyone demand that Netflix makes another season.
It. I don't know. I feel like we're at a point right now where I almost feel bad for Netflix because people are like, anytime any show gets canceled, Netflix, bring back this show. And they're like, look, guys, we have our own stuff we're working on. I don't know. Do we really need to? All right, fine. We'll bring back this show that lasted a season or whatever. I don't care. No, I mean, I'm excited to see Lego Batman for sure.
There are tons of jokes. There's going to be tons of jokes because the trailer was just packed with hilarious jokes that I got a super kick out of. Probably one of my favorite is the culturally insensitive joke, which is where they're flipping through different costumes. Robin's flipping through different Batman costumes, and there is a reggae costume, I believe. Either that or it was the one with the sombrero. Okay. And he's like, "Oh, I really like that one." And Batman goes, "No, that one's culturally insensitive." And then they flip to the next one.
Why does he have it?
I don't know. But he has just an absurd amount of costumes in his basement. It's hilarious.
Oh,
the whole trailer had me just cracking up. Like my inner child was loving every second of it. So
I almost feel like the Lego Batman movie is gonna be, it's gonna be like the Justice League movie that we deserve, I guess, in a sense, because I've seen that like all of the Justice League characters are going to be in there. Anyway,
they didn't really show anybody else in this one. It was.
I know in a
it was
previous
all
trailer they did. In a previous
Batman and Robin, basically.
Yeah, so in a previous trailer they showed like Wonder Woman and Flash and Green Lantern and all of them like kind of in one of those team lineups where they're all running together down a hallway or something, you know. So
that was another joke that was in there. Is Robin goes, "Wait a minute, Batman, do you live in Bruce Wayne's basement?" And he goes, "No, Bruce Wayne lives in my attic." And I was
So you
like,
really
"That's
like that.
fantastic."
Oh man,
There's, like I said, definitely go watch it. There are tons of jokes just packed into that like short little commercial. It's fantastic.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. Yeah, I wasn't avoiding it on purpose. Like it wasn't one of those trailers where I was like, I don't want to watch it until the movie comes out. It just slipped past my radar a little bit. I'll definitely go watch it as soon as this is done. What else should we talk about? I feel like there's a lot of Netflix stuff. We were on the topic of Netflix. There's all the Marvel stuff. Bryce, were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was gonna say there was Suicide Squad. They did like an extended trailer thing, but I did notice, like as I was watching it, a lot of it was recycled content from the other trailers that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit more Enchantress, I feel like. Also, they did breakdowns of each individual character, which I'm warning you right now, if you guys go through and binge watch those, the music will drive you insane by the end of it, because they used literally the exact same length of the exact same audio clip from the exact same song for every one of those breakdowns.
It's torture. Yeah.
There's so many characters. By the end of it, I was like, I had to turn the volume down and just read what was on the screen, because I was like, I can't take this.
Well, at least they're not showing everything like the BVS trailer, which in hindsight, I feel like they did show too much for Batman v Superman in the trailer. But I think the Suicide Squad stuff looks really well. I'm more excited than I was for it before, especially for Deadshot. I like what Deadshot looks like he's going to be in this movie, so I'm super excited for that.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, the Suicide Squad one is one I definitely avoided on purpose because it's so close to being out. I just want to like not have anything else ruined for me, even though I've been told that it's just recycled footage that we've already seen before. But yeah, there's already stuff that's being spoiled about that movie for me. Little cameos, little jokes and stuff that I wish I would have seen in theaters, but that's the internet. That's internet culture for you guys.
Yeah, there was something that people keep pointing out in the comments over here that might be interesting to touch on. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah, sure. There's a bunch of, we haven't even touched on most of the Marvel news that happened. I think that probably does it for DC, unless I'm forgetting something. Yeah. So we can switch gears and talk about Marvel stuff. Spider-Man: Homecoming was, let's see, they announced like officially some concept art and showed that Vulture is definitely going to be the villain, which is pretty exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, at least it's not another person in a green tech outfit. Oh wait.
Oh no, spoke too soon.
But it does look cool though. I did like the concept art. I noticed he had like a mask or something on. I was like, oh cool, they're gonna avoid the bald guy look for Vulture. Mm-hmm. But I thought it looked really neat.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys know Spider-Man's one of my favorite characters, so I'm just excited about this movie. I really wish they went with Mysterio, like I've been saying, but all right, I can deal with Vulture. Vulture would make for some good high-flying fighting stuff that we got in a couple video games that I always thought was a lot of fun. So, yeah, I can see Vulture. It'd be a lot of fun.
Now, this may just be me, like, thinking way too hard about stuff and realizing things after the fact and feeling really dumb. But given the age that Spider-Man is right now and the fact that Spider-Man: Homecoming is the name of the movie, is this taking place during homecoming at his high school?
Yeah, it's kind of a meta title, isn't it?
Yeah, that was very much what I was getting by the last couple shots right before the logo popped up. I was like, oh, right, he is still in high school. Wait a minute. Homecoming. Hey, I see what you did there, DC.
DC?
Or Warner Brothers, whoever was in charge of it.
What?
Marvel.
What are you talking about?
Dang it! We're live. I can't edit that.
Oh, man. Now you guys know what happens on the podcast.
I do that a lot. for anybody that wants to know. There's a lot of me saying the wrong company getting edited out of podcasts.
That is true.
Also, to answer the question, people keep asking if I have alcohol in this. No, this is Dr. Pepper, what I always drink out of this glass, which you would know if you tune into our live streams on the Twitch channel.
Boom, calling you out. No, but yeah, I haven't seen the I guess there was a Comic-Con trailer or something that they released or something. I haven't seen that. Was that officially released or was that just leaked to the internet?
There was a trailer.
I've heard there was Spider-Man Homecoming Comic-Con trailer or footage or something.
It's like a mashup of a bunch of really quick and fast like shots. It's not like a trailer. It's more of them just kind of like showing. Yeah, it's a teaser.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, so I probably won't watch anything that's not officially released. So we'll see how that goes. But I am excited.
I may or may not have watched it unofficially released. It was totally not officially released.
Mm-hmm.
You were at Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, you were at.
Yeah,
you were there.
Totally at Comic-Con. That's where I saw it.
Try to prove us wrong.
I flew back yesterday.
No. So other than Spider-Man, there's a bunch of other news that happened. There were a ton of Netflix trailers that came out. I don't know if you guys saw those. That like dominated my night when those were released. I think the first night of Comic-Con. So we had Luke Cage, official Luke Cage teaser trailer, which looks so good. So good. And then we also had an Iron Fist super teaser that was just like a couple shots. And then a Defenders teaseriest teaser that you'll ever see, which was just nothing but just the logo, the title screen forming. And then we also had a sizzle reel of which showed some more stuff from Luke Cage, recaps of Daredevil and Jessica Jones, as well as hinted at the Punisher solo series that I believe is confirmed now. Was confirmed for a while.
Goodness.
Yeah.
You're also missing one.
Did I miss one?
Legion.
Oh, freaking! But that's not Netflix. I was talking about Netflix stuff.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Bryce.
We'll get to that eventually.
Edit.
I ruined it. There you go. Things that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Edit.
We will talk about Legion though, because that was super bizarre. But yeah, what do you guys think about all this new Netflix goodness? I know when I was watching the sizzle reel of like all of this stuff, like that was probably my favorite, even more so than the Luke Cage trailer, because the sizzle reel showed a scene from Luke Cage where like a guy punches him in the face and his hand just shatters, just breaks, and it's disgusting. And I love it so much, and I can't wait for that show.
I don't know a lot about Luke Cage, but is he literally like, is his skin like titanium or something?
Yeah, it's unbreakable skin. That's like his whole thing.
Okay,
like
is that what it is?
Yeah.
I didn't really. I knew that he was like super strong and like really hard to hurt, but I didn't know like if that was actually his skin.
Yeah, he's really hard to hurt.
It's really hard to hurt.
That's a good way to put it.
Well, there again, in the way that Bryce views things, I watched him tear the door off of that car, walk into the building, and have the glass shot out. But then nobody proceeded to shoot him in the head after the glass was shot out of the door. And I was like, "What are these bad guys right now?"
Worst bad guys ever.
They were only shooting the door, and so I was like, "So is his skin actually impenetrable?"
Yeah.
And then, of course, he throws the doorway, gets shot in the chest. You see the bullet holes, and I'm like, "Is he just wearing a bulletproof vest? Because there's no bullet holes in his legs. There's no bullet holes in his arms. Nobody shot him in the head." So I was like, I don't understand the aiming mechanism that these bad guys follow.
Have you not seen? Did you not watch Jessica Jones? I can't remember if you have. Okay.
Bryce doesn't have a Netflix account.
Oh, that's okay. No.
Not that I don't have access to one, but I don't currently have one personally.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I mean, it looks all right. I think it looks the Luke Cage trailer looks really good. I'm excited for the show. That comes out this year, I think. Yeah. Let's say yes. It does. Yeah. Sure. I'm very excited for it. But even at the end of the sizzle reel, we're like, throughout the whole thing, they're showing off all these characters. They're showing off Elektra and Kingpin and Purple Man and all the villains that are going to be in Luke Cage as well. And I'm just like, why aren't they showing the Punisher? And at the very end, Punisher comes on screen, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and I cannot wait for him to get his own show. So good. But yeah. And any other Netflix? There wasn't there were a lot of the trailers, but there wasn't a ton of news, I guess. Like, even the Iron Fist thing was pretty straightforward.
Right.
Well, we already kind of knew all this stuff. They just kind of showed some of it now.
Yeah, just showed some clips from it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited. Defenders looks good. Stick did the voiceover for that kind of teaser, so obviously maybe the Hand is going to play another role in it. The eternal war between the Chaste and the Hand, or whatever the second season of Daredevil was about. Don't remember it too well. A lot of people are asking us to talk about Ghost Rider and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah. Which I was incredibly confused about when I heard that announcement. I was like, no, I must have read that wrong. Ghost Rider's not in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's I was excited, and I was like, oh man, what about Nick Cage and all this? And then it's not the same Ghost Rider. I was like, oh, come on. But it's okay that it's still Ghost Rider. So I think that's a pretty cool addition, even if it's not the irreplaceable Nick Cage.
Yeah.
You know? But he's a big star. So
correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't this leak like a couple months back? Because I am pretty sure, maybe it didn't leak. Maybe they officially said. I'm pretty sure that I heard and knew and saw video of this months before Comic-Con. Like, am I crazy? Is that
I don't know anything about that.
It's off topic.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that, but I do know that there's a character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think his name was Hellblazer or something, who in the last season had the power of like being able to ignite things like bombs, and so he took a chain and like was fighting people with the chain that was on fire. And I think that was almost like Marvel's kind of subtle hint to be like, hey guys, guess what? We're gonna do Ghost Rider. Yeah,
I think that might have been what I saw, because I remember seeing something like there was like a train or something like with a burning skull on the front of it and had a chain wrapped around it. I don't know if that.
I don't know if that. I don't remember that at all.
Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe
I feel like you are
into the future.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I've been having some weird dreams lately. My roommate cooked last night, so I mean, who knows what I was thinking about.
What do the voices tell you to do?
Oh no.
I mean, Bryce, not Scott. I'm gonna say Bryce.
Now who's crazy?
Edit
point. No, people are correcting me. The character's name was Hellfire, not Hellblazer or whatever, which makes more sense. Hellblazer's DC. Yes. Hellfire was the character who had the chain thing. And yeah, I even thought they were almost trying to do a Ghost Rider thing with him. Like, I was like, are we supposed to believe that this is like the Marvel Universe version of Ghost Rider? That's incredibly disappointing. And no, I guess now we're just actually gonna see it, which is super strange to me to think Ghost Rider's gonna be in. Do you think Ghost Rider is gonna be an Inhuman? That would be disappointing.
Yeah, he has that whole dark storyline, and then they go completely change it. I mean, they own the rights to Ghost Rider, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
I mean, if they go the route of Nick Cage Ghost Rider, where he's like constantly transforming from human to Ghost Rider, I mean, they could in the way that he transitions, they could totally make that into some sort of an Inhuman thing.
I don't want them to.
Not saying I want it either, but I'm saying they could do that.
Yeah. I feel like
that's what it was. It was somebody just pointed out Michael Langlassi. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that or not. Pointed out that it was plastered on the side of a bus.
Okay.
That's what I saw it from. That's what I remember it from.
Interesting.
Where did you see this bus, Bryce?
I on the internet.
In a dream I had once. No, but I think that it's I want them to continue the magical route with Ghost Rider, to make him all magical demon-esque, everything like that, because they are doing Doctor Strange relatively soon this year. So the Marvel Universe is going to finally open up its doors to actual magic, hopefully, not just science that's hard to understand. But Yeah, I want them to go that route with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show as well and be like, no, this is magic. This is not, advanced science. This is straight up magic, and I want them to go with that. I just don't know how well that will fit in with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I always thought Ghost Rider would be a better Netflix show, but I don't know, I guess we'll see.
I could see it being a good Netflix show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially with how well they did with the one that we literally just talked about.
The Netflix
Jessica
show that's
Jones.
Jessica Jones. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I could see them doing like the way that they kind of grounded that. I feel like they could do something like that with Ghost Rider. I don't know.
Well, that one was, oh, it's a virus.
But I mean, it's still, I don't know.
The Ghost Rider virus, guys. Don't you know about this one? You get infected.
Can I catch
by
it, please?
Yeah.
Please infect me.
That's how it'll work. And I do feel like with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this is something Blitz in the chat brings up. With Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. always wanting to tie in with the Marvel movies, Ghost Rider could easily tie in with Doctor Strange as both magical beings. And in that same magical universe, they could easily be like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, the Doctor Strange movie will happen and like some big event will occur and Coulson will be like, yeah, no, we're having our own magical troubles over here, whatever. just a little nod to it. But yeah, it looks, I don't know. I hope with the TV budget that they have that they can get Ghost Rider to look good. That's my biggest concern. I don't want him to look silly or too fake. Which I know it's really hard to do practical Ghost Rider effects.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Flaming Skull isn't exactly the easiest thing to make work correctly.
It's hard to find volunteers for that one. But yeah, I mean, I feel like as long as it looks good, then I'm okay with it. And I think with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we've been saying that their budget has been growing and growing so that hopefully they can introduce the character and it looks not awful. I'm really just looking for not awful is kind of my baseline for Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably all the Netflix stuffs and also Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's talk about Legion for a second. Because I think Dylan hit it on the head when he tweeted something about how Legion looks like it was a TV show that was in development for years and then they just decided to make it about X-Men. Like, just last second. And that's kind of the vibe I got from it. It doesn't feel like it's a Marvel show. It just feels
not at all.
It just feels like it's a show that they were like, I guess we can slap X-Men names on top of here, and it's probably fine. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Chris, did you even see that trailer at all?
I think I did because I saw that tweet you mentioned, but I have completely forgotten everything about it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it and I completely forgot everything about it, so it's pretty forgettable.
Yeah, I can't really tell you much that happened in it, but it's, I don't know, I'm still kind of excited for it, though. Being a person who literally knows nothing about Legion, when I watched it, I was like, this is interesting and different, and the name Legion comes up on the screen, and the X-Men symbol is the O in Legion. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
because they said mutants, and I was like, is this X-Men? And then the X-Men symbol comes up in the O, and I'm like, aha, it is X-Men.
Legion, like, yeah, that's how you could also read that.
The League of Oxen.
The League of Oxen.
But yeah, so it was kind of one of those things that I was like, this seems interesting. It seems like a very psychological thriller-ish, maybe.
Yeah.
Not so much scary, but like
I never really got
not a thriller, like a puzzler. I don't know, something
puzzler.
like a mystery.
Sure,
Puzzler.
Psychological mystery, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I never really got a read on it, to be honest. I was like, what is this show? I don't understand. But yeah, I feel like it's. I'll give it a watch for sure. I'm gonna watch it. Right. I just feel like it honestly looks like it was cobbled together at the last second to be like, we gotta have something to throw at the audience that'll get them excited. X-Men TV show. Let's go. And it's set in an alternate universe to the movies as well. So we could potentially see other characters, actors play different characters that we've already seen on screen. So we could have like some classic X-Men show up potentially as different actors. But that remains to be seen. Who knows about all that? We have a couple additional things to talk about. We've been going at this for about an hour or so now. And there are a couple other things. People have been asking about all the CW trailers, which I know you guys are really up to date on Flash and Arrow.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Super 100% up to date. Definitely, for sure.
I said this before. I stopped watching Arrow about 4 episodes from the season finale because it's just, I completely lost interest in it. In its entire, I was like, I could. It's only 4 episodes. I'm only 4 episodes away from finishing it. Could I watch it? Yes. But what if I didn't? Like, what if I just didn't watch it? And so far, my life is fine. I feel like I did watch the trailer for season 5 of Arrow. Is that what they're on now? God, that show's been going on forever, it seems. I did watch that trailer. It looks interesting. They're assembling a new team of characters together, which is always good. I feel like they're trying to move forward, change the show up, not be so stagnant. If that's going to last, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But I am excited about having a bunch of new characters introduced. I think that one girl who impersonated Black Canary in a couple episodes, or one episode back, is going to play Artemis, I think, if that was announced, which is exciting because she was one of my favorite characters from Young Justice. So that in itself is like enough for me to be like, fine, I'll give it a shot. I'll watch Arrow. But Flash, the Flash season 3 trailer looks so good. Have you seen that one, either of you two?
No, I'm still catching up on these shows.
I haven't caught up on Flash, so I haven't watched it either.
Guy. The Flash.
Well, now I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil.
I wasn't up to date,
right.
So I don't want to spoil anything. For
myself. I don't want to spoil it by telling you what the trailer's about either. So I don't know. I mean, I won't spoil the trailer. A couple of people are already talking about how they don't want me to spoil it either. It's just, all I'm gonna say is it's real good, and it looks like it's gonna set up for an interesting season of The Flash. We got some new characters, some new costumes that look really, really cool, and just an overall story that strikes me as somewhat gimmicky, but also, I don't know, could be real interesting. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna last the entire season. Because that would probably be boring, but it'll probably at least last the first half, or maybe a little less than that. But yeah, it looks good. I'm excited, and I'm wondering how it's gonna affect things on Arrow if it does. I guess we'll see. Who knows? So I think that's gonna do it for us today. No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to end while he he got here. No, we have a couple other things to talk about. I think.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes,
they revealed.
That was the other thing. Yes, Guardians of the Galaxy revealed some interesting stuff. Yondu out there with the giant fin on his head looked so funny, and just I don't know. That movie looks like it's gonna be a ton of fun for sure.
And Ego the Living Planet.
Ego the Living Planet. That's spoilers, but yes, that was confirmed. As well as a bunch of other characters. It just looks like it's going to be... I like Guardians of the Galaxy because of how it's connected to the main Marvel universe, but it's not like... I don't know. It's still doing its own thing, And I feel like that it almost feels like its own separate movie franchise to me. And I'm just excited to see where the characters go. I didn't know this until they released... concept art not too long ago, but a couple months back, I think. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Groot is still going to be a baby in this movie. Like, he's not going to be full-grown Groot. It's still going to be baby Groot, which I think is only going to make things much, much funnier and have some for some really interesting scenarios as well. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to this movie for sure. They also released, they announced the Disneyland or the California Adventure attraction for Guardians, which means I have to go back. I have to go back and see
I
what
did
that
not hear
ride's
about
going to be
that,
about.
actually.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that either. That sounds exciting.
Well, I guess we'll see as more stuff comes out. But yeah, I think in terms of Guardians of the Galaxy, looking forward to it. One of my favorite Marvel movies, I think. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It seems like it's going to be really interesting. I don't want to give too much away of what James Gunn has announced, has talked about. So I don't want to be the guy that accidentally spoils things for anybody. But then again, like, this is a podcast. You know what you're getting into, I feel.
Or you should at this point.
Or you should at this point. I don't know. It looks like, I don't know. It looks like it's going to be ridiculous. But in a lot of really, really interesting way. Like in the same way that Guardians is inherently ridiculous, right? With the talking raccoon and a giant tree and like just the aliens everywhere. Like it's like James Gunn talked about how he talked when he was doing the first movie, he's like, how am I going to make a talking raccoon work? And then now as we're getting more information about Star-Lord's past and everything, he's like, well, how do I make, this whole thing with his father work? Who is his father? All that stuff, because that's something that he revealed, forever ago that we were going to get in Guardians 2 was more information about that. And he did reveal exactly who's going to be playing the father and in what capacity and what character, all that stuff. And it just sounds crazy and bizarre, but in a way that I just want to watch it right now to just kind of see. Yeah. To see how that all works. So I'm excited. I
have faith in James Gunn.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of my favorite directors for sure. I have one other thing that I want to talk about, and that's really it. So I want to make sure that we all kind of got everything else out of the way, because I kind of wanted to end with this one. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about that isn't Captain Marvel related?
Off the top of my head.
Yeah,
we'll probably think of something later.
Perfect. All right. Let's talk about the huge announcement that Marvel made regarding the actress who is going to be playing Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, in the solo film of the same name, which is Brie Larson, who I love because she's in my favorite movie of all time, Scott Pilgrim, and just all around.
Really?
Yeah. She plays Envy Adams. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I don't know who Brie Larson is, but I love Scott Pilgrim, and now I feel dumb. So
yeah, no, she's great, and I'm excited to see her in more things. So when I know that they had rumored this quite some time ago, and I know Dylan and I had talked about it before on a live stream. I think for the 300,000 subscriber live stream, and we had talked about it. He says Brie Larson is the queen of. She looks familiar, but I can't remember why. Which is a pretty interesting way of describing it. Yeah, I know what we had. Like we were kind of talking about our opinions about it. I think I was under the impression like she's a great actress, and I love her. Again, she's one of my favorites. I just didn't know how great she would fit into that role. But now that like they've announced it and it's official, I've kind of like. My mind has almost like gone back and like, no, what are you talking about? She's gonna be great. She's gonna be amazing. Yeah. So I don't know if what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good casting choice?
Seems like it so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen enough of her to say, oh yeah, that is gonna be a good Captain Marvel. Or. I don't know, basically. That's about the extent of it. Is I really don't know. We haven't seen a lot, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that I was looking at, which is the thing that I guess everybody else, or not everybody else, but some people already pointed out in the comments, like way back at the beginning when we started this, was with looking at the image. Like, I didn't see like an actual reveal. I just saw people posting images of her, with her like long flowing hair. And I was like, how is she going to like shave all that off? Because she's got really gorgeous looking hair. She's going to really have to cut all of that off and dye it to make it fit the character.
Yeah, I mean, depends on which version of the character they go with. I mean, I would imagine that they're going with the more recent version of her in the comics. Where
I would
have
assume so too.
Shorter hair.
Yeah, well, it was my thought that when they announced it, I thought she doesn't look like my headcanon idealized version of Captain Marvel, but we haven't seen anything yet, so I can't make any judgments.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah, I do think that it's, again, as we said before earlier on, like I'm the kind of person who wants to wait until we actually get a final product before I make a solid opinion on it. But I am very hopeful. I do think that once again, she is a fantastic actor, and I think Marvel always does a really good job of casting the roles to people who just knock it out of the park. And yeah, I do feel like she's also one of those up and coming actresses who very recently won I believe won an Oscar, nominated for an Oscar at least. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I
think she won it. I think she's an Academy Award.
I thought so too. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's like it only makes sense that Marvel would be like, all right, well, we gotta get Brie Larson on board. Obviously, I mean, look what she's already making waves, and I just feel like I'm more excited than anything to kind of see the route they go with it, and also just because I believe that the Captain Marvel movie is going to be almost like Guardians in the sense where it's set in the cosmic universe of Marvel, which I want to see more of. So, yeah, pretty excited about that as well. I feel like as we're kind of winding down, we can get some comments and questions from the audience here. Sure. Yeah. So if you guys see anything that you want to bring up, feel free to shout it out. Was it Jose talking about they'll CGI Carol Danvers' mohawk in? So.
Oh man, if they have to CGI a mohawk, I'm gonna lose a lot of respect for Marvel. Come on, a mohawk. No, come on,
they won't.
You don't have to CGI that.
And I feel like if an actress is really gonna commit to her role, she would probably understand.
Sure,
if she needed to get a haircut.
I mean, as Dylan pointed out, Karen Gillan in the role of Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy just went up and shaved all of her hair off, just like bzzz,
she did.
Buzzed it off, which was just such commitment. Love it. Other people are asking us to talk about Ragnarok. I will say this: they released the new Ragnarok logo, like the
super weird.
It
looks like somebody
fun.
made it with. It looks like somebody made it with word art in the old Microsoft Word.
I
believe you can pick the different backgrounds. That looks exactly like that blue and red one.
Oh, absolutely, it does. I believe it was the director on Twitter who someone asked how did you come up with the new logo, and he was like, we just wanted to know what would upset fans of brushed aluminum letters the most, because that's what all of the Marvel movies are. They're just brushed metal letters, and so I don't know, I felt like it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Just that logo itself changes the movie from the original one, which was very doom and gloom, to now it just looks like it's gonna be a fun ride, just
fast-paced,
and again, we haven't gotten any footage from this in any capacity, but just that one logo change makes me pretty excited about it. It is very retro looking, and I don't know, I think it's pretty good. And along the same lines is Hulk in Thor 3 as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I know they released at Comic-Con. They talked, or someone had mentioned they released almost a documentary style footage of where are Thor and Hulk during Civil War, to kind of recap people and tell kind of fill in the gaps there a little bit, which maybe they'll release. I don't know. Probably not. Who knows? But I'm excited about Hulk in Thor 3. I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic, especially since the first time they interacted in the first Avengers movie, where Hulk just punched Thor off screen. Good stuff.
Yeah, there's probably going to be a fight scene, at least one fight scene between them. Yeah.
Definitely.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And probably Gladiator Hulk as well. I think we've seen that, which is going to be pretty cool. Let's see. You guys find anything else we want to talk about?
Daisy said we should definitely plug the Twitch channel.
Plug the Twitch channel. Sure. Yeah, it's twitch.tv/NerdSync Gaming. And you guys stream on it, so tell everyone what you guys do there.
We do stuff.
Yeah, we stream. I stream normally. There have been a couple weeks where I haven't been able to do it just because of time constraints and my location. But normally I live stream the podcast edit. And so I will stream the podcast, and I normally play some music in the background, play a little bit of Minecraft at the same time, depending on how heavy the edit is, obviously, and then interact with you guys. So that's the thing that I do. Every once in a while, I'm on there playing other games. I hope to maybe make that a little more consistent. Probably won't because I'm in my second year of my graduate school going for my master's. Makes it really hard to do stuff when you're constantly doing school, so that's the thing. Go subscribe, go do the thing.
I think it's
hang
following.
out, have fun.
Yeah.
And in addition to Bryce, I'm also streaming occasionally, not quite as often as Bryce because I want to space out the games that I'm playing because I'm playing some shorter games for the time being. But I'm not editing or anything. I'm just going to be playing probably some older games until some newer stuff comes out that I actually want to stream. So hopefully that'll be fun for you guys to watch. I'll be doing kind of a let's play / not a speed run, but more of a, hey, watch me play this. Probably games I've already played, which should be fun. You can come ask me questions and stuff people usually do. I have conversations with the 1 or 2 people watching me stream usually. So yeah, we'll have some fun, guys. Yeah.
Awesome sauce. Cool. A couple other things. Let's see. Somebody asked forever ago. I asked for merch suggestions, and people are asking where are those. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. I actually don't have access to the form that everyone filled out. That was somebody else who made that. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some more merch in here someday. Let's see. A lot of this other stuff we already talked about. Like we literally just talked about Thor, the Spider-Man Homecoming as well. Yeah.
A lot of people that probably weren't there right at the beginning suggesting things that we've already covered. So
yeah, which is great. I mean, as we said, this is going to be available to all of you guys later to watch later. So if you weren't here the whole time, you can go back and watch it from the beginning. I would suggest watching it at 2 times speed, just for the lulls. So it might be fun. Yeah, I think that's probably everything for now. Dude, look, man. Dylan's like, mugs. We need mugs. I agree. We need NerdSync mugs. And I've said this from the beginning. We need mugs that say drink and sync because I think that would be pretty cool. But anyway, we should probably wrap it up right now. So guys,
you want to plug our Twitters and stuff?
Yeah. I wanted to say really quickly, thanks to everyone who watched, and also for being there with us as we got to 100 podcast episodes, which is crazy and ridiculous. We are also working on a NerdSync Podcast YouTube channel. I think it's actually live right now. There's nothing on it, so I wouldn't subscribe just yet. But it's on our. I don't know how you would find it.
Well, if they subscribe, they'll get a live update of the first episode.
Sure.
That goes out, so.
Yeah, it might be real annoying because we're gonna upload 100 episodes in one day.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get there. Basically, that's just another way for people to listen to the podcast outside of iTunes and SoundCloud and Stitcher and wherever else RSS feeds go for all the Comic-Con news. And
for those of you that have been around for a while, you know that we used to do that until DC got up all in our DC. Dang it, I did it again. Until WB got all up in our grill about it, and so we took it down. But we're doing it again.
Yes. And so we're uploading it. Hopefully that'll help make some revenue because we don't make any money off the podcast currently. But uploading it to YouTube might help as well. If you can find the NerdSync Podcast account, you go subscribe to it if you want. Again, there's literally nothing there right now, but there should be stuff. Let's go ahead and let's go around the table and just kind of plug our Twitters and social medias stuff. Chris, you go first.
I am on the Twitter. I tweet about a lot of random things, some of which might not make any sense. But I am at Chris Tuffer, Chris_TUFFER, because I have mad pun making skills.
Boom.
So yeah, that
last
is my
name
Twitter.
is not tougher. Yeah.
Yeah, my last name is not tougher. Okay, so I hope you don't think that. But yeah, at Chris Tuffer, follow me for random tweets and stuff.
Perfect. Bryce.
You can also find me on Twitter at Renny of Your. That's RENNYOFYORE. A lot of people ask about that. That's my gaming name, so that's what I use on everything. But of course, the account is Bryce Nolen, so you'll be able to find me. So I'm hanging out there on Twitter. If you guys, I saw a couple people asking like when we stream, just subscribe to Chris and I, and also to the NerdSync Twitter as well, because normally Scott will retweet us when we say that we're going live with streams on the Twitch channel and stuff. So plus that's, of course, following all of us is the best way to keep up to date on literally everything NerdSync. So that's the thing.
Also true. Yes, you can follow me on everywhere. It's just at Scott Niswander. Normally on any other place like Instagram or Snapchat, that shouldn't be a problem to find me. But on Twitter, there have been more and more fake parody accounts of me popping up. Just was it today or yesterday? Somebody created the account British Scott, and they're like, "I'm in charge of NerdSync UK." Like,
and now there's a Bryce one too. There's Bruce.
Yeah,
Noble.
there's a false Bryce.
And
one.
I love that banner image at the top, the Monty Python thing.
Bruce Noble is fantastic. I will applaud. Yes. I will applaud them for that.
Yes.
Well, are there any fake Chris accounts yet?
No, probably not yet.
There will be now.
Oh,
yikes! And I feel like we should just give quickly just like some thanks to all the NerdSync peeps out there. From
though.
Yeah, right. So we got Dylan in the chat right here. He's great. Editor and also just helpful person who's been doing a ton of stuff. Dave and Nolly once more. We've got DK, who's also an editor and host of a show. And his kind of writing partner, Angela, who's really great. And a bunch of other people, Nisha, who runs the Facebook and Instagram accounts for NerdSync. And I feel like I'm definitely forgetting people, and I feel so bad if I am. But there are so many great people who help make NerdSync, help run NerdSync, and make it a great place and community. So thanks to all you guys. And I guess Bryce edits a podcast or something. I don't know.
He does a thing.
I do a thing.
Sure.
And I run the Reddit account.
Yes,
good opportunity.
That's right. I always forget to plug the Reddit account.
Yeah, NerdSync is a Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are on Reddit right now. I was hoping when I launched it that people would go there and just post and discuss things, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
But mainly it's become like a feed for me posting NerdSync stuff. But please don't be shy. Go to the Reddit account and post questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be like, hey guys, do you like this thing? Let's talk about it. I hate it. Just
let's talk about it. I hate it. Yeah,
I hate this.
I mean, please don't be shy about making the Reddit a thing.
I was gonna say Joel. I forgot Joel as well, who does super suits. Yeah. Also thanks to Joel.
Lots of like everybody thinks. Well, not everybody thinks, but like people when they first show up on NerdSync might just think it's Scott, but then of course there's all the editors behind the scenes, and then we got the podcast, and then we got the other websites,
social medias, and
when you factor it all in, there's a lot of people that are working at NerdSync, or that are free slave labor, or whatever you want to call it.
That's what I like to prefer. Yeah, exactly. No, it's really great. I've been fortunate enough to meet so many great people through this that have helped out, and it's been a fun ride, and I'm sad to see it end. It's over. This is the 100th episode. We're done.
Over now.
No more. That's it. And some new people soon that you might see in the next coming weeks. Who knows? Pay attention to stuff. I'm really close to the microphone right now.
It's really funny because I don't know about any new people, but then again, I didn't know about the people that existed until Scott.
Until I just said them right now. You thought it was just me that did everything.
Scott neglects to inform us when new people are on the team. So
all right. I feel like we've been rambling at the end here for a bit. We should probably end it. I think that's probably everything, though, right? We covered all the bases. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Here's to another 100 episodes of the podcast, and then literally nothing else. Then we ride this wave into the abyss, and that's it.
Toast.
We're done.
The toast. To the
You would
next
drink this,
What
Scott?
says-
You can't toast, can you?
I don't have a thing around me. No, I apologize.
Way to go.
I have... Just real quick, while I have everyone. Has anyone seen a girl with hair
I
like
saw-
this?
I said toast, not coast,
Oh,
Scott.
dang it, you're right. All right. Bye, everybody. And we're going to edit this end part out later in post. It's real
Yep.
awkward.